On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk, successful than we ever have been, and we're freer than we ever have been. So, you got to tie the two together and try to figure out why the heck that is, but nobody wants to actually have that type of conversation. They just want to continue to talk without any kind of results to go along with it. So,
Oh, we want to have that conversation. We do.
Oh, really?
I think I never actually answered the question on the table. I think traditional women might be more inclined to marry younger than modern women. Now, I don't know if there's any data to back up whether or not that's true, that in reality they do that, but I think that they're more inclined to do that. I was pretty traditional, and I got married at 20. So, but since we're going,
what made you traditional?
Well, I was we was raised in Baptist church. I was raised in Baptist church.
I'm sorry, you want me to answer that right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that I look at modern versus traditional.
What?
Women.
JR, why? This is a good conversation. JR, why? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The way that I look at modern versus traditional women is not necessarily in how it is that they operate in society when it comes to being able to adapt to society, but it's more or less their mindset and how that translates into their actions when it comes to being put in certain positions. So, for example, the way that a woman may look at marriage, in which I don't look at marriage as a partnership. I look at it as I'm the head and, she is not my partner. That's just the way it is. And so women that look at marriage from that perspective, I would say is more traditional versus more modern, whereas most modern women start to look at marriage as a partnership. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on the context by which we're using it for an example, but I just think it's more or less the mindset and how that translates into your actions, right? I can empower my wife to go to school to be a nurse, right? Because that's what she's always wanted to do since a little girl. And so we're in a position to do that. She can do that, whatever, have fun. I don't care. We don't care about the money. It's not about finances whatsoever. However, let's not be mistaken. That's a luxury. That's not something that's a requirement or something that she leans to as something that is needed or is something that she has to do in order to be able to satisfy the mindset of how most women think. She don't subject herself to it. She very much subjects herself to the fact that I'm the head and she's right there under me, and my daughter is under her, and that's how we move in our household. So I just think it's more or less a mindset and how we move, not necessarily based off of how we modernize the way that we live in the technology that's enabled us to be a little bit more comfortable in society.
So Anton, I love that explanation because it gives me a clearer view of what you think. So if you're saying that it's not about what they're doing, it's the mindset behind it. So in one instance, a woman can go to college and be a nurse, but in another one, they can go to college, be a nurse, but it's at the, it's like a supplement, I guess, to their husband.
So let's say, for example, a woman was to become successful when it comes to her career, right? A lot of women use that in order to try to justify their place in the household. Or if things get a little bit rough, they might emasculate a man as a result and say, well, what are you doing? Or use it in order to be able to have a certain type of conversation in an extreme situation, right? That's two different things from another woman that she may have become educated, but the reason that she's educated is not so that she don't have to depend on no man. You see what I'm saying? So it's a mindset that translates into how it is that you operate every single day as far as traditional. I don't want you using a flip phone if you don't have to just to call yourself traditional. You know what I'm saying? You can use get your iPhone, baby.
Yes, like a rotary phone. Yeah.
I have a question for the guys.
You know what? Go ahead, Courtney.
So, because we rarely talk about men and modern men. Do you think majority of men are traditional or modern?
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Courtney.
Do you think men in general now are more modern or traditional?
I think weak men are modern.
Is that majority?
Yes. Really?
I don't disagree. I agree. I think there are more modern men than there are traditional men.
Huh?
Lapeef?
Yeah, I think there are more modern
I'm surprised you ain't
men.
call him. I'm surprised you ain't call
I
him
know,
Junior.
Junior? Oh, Junior.
Junior.
I think there are more
Junior, what you
modern
think,
men
Junior?
than traditional men.
Junior?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say that to say this too, because I've been doing a lot of thinking. And I'm like, I understand men want
So
tradition.
masculine.
Oh, really?
I know. I've been using my degree.
Don't think.
So,
No.
but I understand men want traditional women. Of course you do. I think that's what works when we were traditional. I've always said that since I've been on the platform. But even like thinking about how men are now, how women are, our roles have flipped. Women have become more masculine and more wanting to be in control like a man. But I think I've seen a lot of men that's been very feminine
I
like
agree.
women. So it's been flipped. So it's like, how are you wanting this from me and you acting like me, or how I'm supposed to act? And these are not conversations to have, because I understand where you're talking about women and women, you're not traditional, you're so modern. But I'm like, yeah, but look what
The
some of
balance
us are
always
working
finds
with.
itself. Yeah.
So it's a
Funny.
shift that we both have to do, because we've switched roles.
I mean, you can get some masculine women getting with some girly men. You know,
Does that really work?
I didn't say that it was. I didn't say that it was ideal or that it was going to work. I just said, hey, people can try it. Listen, we looking at the results of it today. When people choose for themselves or they move in a certain type of way that's not conducive to the direction that they're going, we're less successful than we ever have been, and we're freer than we ever have been. So, you know, you got to tie the two together and try to figure out why the heck that is, but nobody wants to actually have that type of conversation. They just want to continue to talk without any kind of results to go along with it. So,
Oh, we want to have that conversation. We do.
Oh, really?
I think I never actually answered the question on the table. I think traditional women might be more inclined to marry younger than modern women. Now, I don't know if there's any data to back up whether or not that's true, that in reality they do that, but I think that they're more inclined to do that. I was pretty traditional, and I got married at 20. So, but since we're going,
What made you traditional?
Well, I was we was raised in Baptist church. I was raised in Baptist church.